Hello and welcome to Story Retold. I'm just getting a message here. Okay, I'm Calina, if you didn't know already, and I am playing a terrific Nancy Drew game for Halloween. I thought it would be most appropriate to play a scary game, particularly Nancy Drew, because this game, interestingly, I'm seeing a lot of other people stream and make YouTube videos of Shadow at the Water's Edge, which is probably the scariest Nancy Drew game, but everyone's doing that one. So good choice for them. I'm going to take a little different path and go with Curse of Blackmoor Manor. Why? Because I don't have the exact numbers or data to prove this, but I've heard word of mouth through Her Interactive, because I work at Her Interactive, that this is the number one selling Nancy Drew game of all time. This is like in its entire history, added up over the course of all the years it's been released. It's been out. This is the most amount. This is the highest unit count selling. I can't even talk. Does that make sense? Over the course of history since it's been released, this is the game that has sold the most compared to other Nancy Drew games. And this is why. Curse of Blackmoor Manor is a creepy game, and the puzzles are hard. The environments are great, and there are some great design elements about this game that just make it fantastic. So I hope you enjoy. As I play Curse of Blackmoor Manor, I've played this game so many times. I'm just going to play on junior detective level so that in the future I can replay again in senior. So here we go. The old Her Interactive logo. Yeah. Excuse me. Alright, this is my favorite menu, is the stack of books. I just gotta point out the Nancy Drew silhouette here. In a very small, compressed print, it says Her Interactive. And this was a new edition. This book right here was a new insert for... I don't remember when this was added, but if you click on More Nancy Drew, you get to see a slideshow of all the pre-existing Nancy Drew game, released prior to this game, that is. Nancy Drew games. So we've got the original Secrets Can Kill right here, Stay Tuned for Danger, Message in a Haunted Mansion, which I just finished playing, Treasure in the Royal Tower, The Final Scene, Secret of the Scarlet Hand, Ghost Dogs on Moon Lake, that's a good one too, The Haunted Carousel, Danger on Deception Island, and The Secret of Shadow Ranch. And take a look at this throwback to herinteractive.com way back when they had the teal color, meaning matching this whole UI. This was their website look. Let's take a moment to admire this and look, the message boards right here. Oh, that's when I joined, was when the website looks like this. I love it. Let's go for a new game.
Welcome to my latest case, The Curse of Blackmoor Manor. To start, choose Junior or Senior Detective. If you're new to adventure games or need some help, choose Gameplay Overview.
Let's go with Junior.
Dear Ned, greetings from jolly old England. Although right now I'm not so sure about the jolly part. That's because I'm on my way to Blackmoor Manor, where the daughter of one of our neighbors is living. The daughter, whose name is Linda, recently married Hugh Pendleton, a British diplomat. Hugh travels a lot, so the only people at the manor with Linda are Hugh's aunt, Mrs. Drake, and Hugh's 12-year-old daughter, Jane. The thing is, ever since Linda moved into the manor, her health has gone downhill. She's practically bedridden, and no one seems to know why. Her mother is convinced something is terribly wrong and wants me to find out what. So here I am, about to be dropped off at a huge centuries-old mansion in the middle of a dark, foggy moor. I can't tell whether the butterflies in my stomach are because I'm excited or just a tad creeped out. Talk to you soon. I hope. Nancy.
Night, miss. Good luck.
Blackmoor Manor. Open the gate. Why did he say good luck? I love this intro. Look at this creepy path. I love how Nancy traipsed through the steps here with trepidation, just slowly working her way up to the house. Manor. Okay, who wouldn't love to have a...
Who's there? Hello? There's something out there!
Where, child?
Over there! I mean, something was out there.
Come in. I'm Mrs. Drake. I take it you're Nancy Drew?
She's creepy.
Yes, and I really did see something, Mrs. Drake. I heard something, too.
Oh, people are always seeing and hearing things on the moor at night. Especially you Americans. Why don't you just go on up to your room? It's the one with the moon on the door.
I'd like to see Linda, if I could.
I'm afraid Linda is, not quite ready to meet with you just now. But please, come see me after you've unpacked. I'll be in the conservatory.
All right, thank you.
The ominous ticking of a clock. As I was saying earlier, who wouldn't want to have a giant, what do you call them? Big iron ring door knocker? That is legit. Look at this room. This is incredible. It's so blue. Look at the tapestries, the old art. I think it would be creepy just to stay the night in this room. My goodness, we've got this weird table with a whole bunch of stuff on it, and I want to peer outside. I want to look outside.
A tripod. For a camera, maybe?
I'm going to fuss around with my audio real quick.
Dear Ned, greetings from jolly old England. Dear Ned, greetings from jolly old England.
Because it sounds like it's peaking. So many noises in this room. Lots of ticking and a nice comfy chair. Nice side table with books. Here's the clock at 6 p.m. We could turn the light out. Nice. I want to open up the drawer, but the cursor, even though it shows up right here, it's for the phone. Let's call Hugh. That is the husband of the person we're trying to investigate here.
I'm sorry, I cannot take your call right now. Either leave me a message at the embassy or call me back later. Thank you.
Okay. Let's call the cook. Ring a ring.
Boar's Head Pub, this is Tommy.
Hi, this is Nancy Drew.
Right. Nancy Drew, out at the old Blackmoor Manor, are you? Coo, you must be Hank Marvin up there. Pity about your kitchen, but we'll fix you up for some Vexin posh. Just tell me what you'd like.
Okay. What do you have?
We've got some loop-de-loop, bangers and mash, a real fine pinky and perky, and a delicious dog's eye, me fork and knife, just rubber-ducked. Hello?
Could you repeat that?
Sure, we've got some loop-de-loop, bangers and mash, pinky and perky, and a dog's eye, and they're all Robin Hood.
I love it. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite lines in all of the Nancy Drew games. Let's see. Loop-de-loop.
I'll have some loop-de-loop.
Okay, one loop-de-loop. Uncle Fred and Johnny Rudder?
No, I'll be eating alone, thank you.
All right, then. We'll come round and leave it at your Rory. Oh, and we've got no hot potato about, so it may take a bit, but we'll have it up to you in no time. Fish and taters.
Oh, the Cockney. Cockney rhyming. Cockney slang. Yeah, that voice actor, Tommy, is voiced by Jonah Von Spreeken, who has voiced so many characters in the Nancy Drew games. He's most famous for Frank Hardy in some of the mid to later games. But he's done so many, it's incredible. And we just have this here. I don't remember if there's an Easter egg involved with this or not. I really forget. I don't know. More books. Ugh, I wish I had space in my house for all the bookshelves ever. Ooh, fancy box. I don't have answers for how to open it up. So.
John Penvelyn.
1937. Granny and the Water Fairy. In a faraway place beside a pond since gone dry, there lived a frog named Granny. Granny was content to live by himself and never ventured into the pond, for back then it was a fearsome place, full of crocodiles that lurked beneath the surface, just waiting for a tasty little morsel like Granny to swim by. So is there water in the pond or not? This is contradictory. But one day, a beautiful princess appeared on the other side of the pond. Like Granny, she was by herself, for she had been unfairly banished from her father's kingdom. Sometimes at night, Granny could hear her singing sad songs and talking to herself out of loneliness. He longed to swim across the pond so they could keep each other company, but he knew the crocodiles would eat him if he tried. So he sat on the shore, croaking mournfully in the moonlight, all alone. Then, one day, a kind-hearted water fairy appeared in the mist above the swamp that surrounded the pond, and told Granny that she would help him cross the pond so that he and the princess could be together. How? Granny asked. I cannot swim across, for the crocodiles are fast and fierce, and have eaten more friends and relatives than I dare to count. You will not have to swim, the water fairy replied, for I shall make a path for you, and don't forget, crocodiles tend to hide in the middle of the pond and near trees, and they hate boats. Look at this. Water, earth, fire, air, and I'm going to sketch these if I can find a pen. Oops. Water, earth, fire, and air. Okay, got it. With that, a lily pad suddenly appeared in the pond in front of Granny. Although he was still afraid, he summoned his courage and hopped onto it. Then another lily pad appeared, and after that another, then another. Granny leaped from one to the next, his tiny heart pounding in his chest, until at long last he leapt from the last lily pad onto the dock where the princess sat. She was delighted to see the little frog, and when she realized that Granny had made the perilous journey across the pond just to be with her, she smiled for the first time since her banishment. So grateful was she for Granny's company that she gave the water fairy a gift, a bright red key, which the water fairy soon put to use. And all three lived happily ever after. But what happened with the red key? The water fairy had to use the red key on something. I don't know. Red key. Oh boy. Look at this grand fireplace. This is huge. Ludi sin gaudio ludi non sunt. I have no idea what this means. But look, these symbols look very similar to the box. So, and this is important for those of you who haven't played this before. Notice the very center is a black circle. That is an important thing to note, because that is applicable to the puzzle. The center is just black. So this is red. The left is blue. The bottom is green. The right is red, and the center is just black. Okay. Let's take a look at our ancient-looking suitcase. This is like from the 90s, you guys. This game was released in 2004, but this was the designed suitcase for Nancy in Message in a Haunted Mansion. I think that's the first time you get to see her suitcase. And her 90s clothes. And looks like I can't pick up anything in here. But this Hackmeister shirt is available in Her Interactive's website through their merchandise. I made sure to grab that art when I was, as one of the employees of Her Interactive. I grabbed the art from the art files and recreated it to make it a t-shirt that you guys can buy yourself.
Wonder what goes there.
The moon.
Something fits in here, but what?
Oh, how nice it would be to have a little alcove reading nook. Oh. So this is kind of a similar northwest, east, south. Northwest, east, south. Okay, but which one am I supposed to be looking at? Is the question. Does this have anything to do with it? So many questions and no answers. Okay, so Mrs. Drake, that's all we can do in this room. Mrs. Drake told us to come find her in the conservatory after we had unpacked. And this is a dead end. We're at the end of the wing, okay.
Oh, Ethel, do I have to learn this?
Yes, I'm afraid you do.
If I do well, can we play a game?
Yes, but only in French.
Oh.
We're in lessons right now.
Okay, let's not bug him. Ooh, look at this fancy medallion. With a keyhole.
I need the key. I need the key.
Yeah. Okay, we missed a hallway right here. Look at the spiral staircase. Weird. Okay, this does bring some memories to the Nancy Drew book, The Crooked Banister, I believe is the book. The Crooked Banister has a staircase where each step creates a note. And the notes are a key to something, or they're a clue to something in that house. I'm wondering if this is taking inspiration from that. So bling, whoop. This is where I really appreciate the closed captions here. You see whoop. So you can actually write the appropriate, just, you know, like description. Or at least they have, the sounds have names. Blooding. Yeah, this is also what makes the games a little bit more inclusive to those who are hard of hearing. And look, it's a dead end. Okay, what is A? A is whoop. We've got some whoops in here. B is bling. C is blooding. D is wah. E is bang. That's all we needed to know, so F and G is not used. Alright, so the order that we stepped upwards is B, A, D, C, A, D, E, E. It spells bad caddy. Ooh, a key. What does that even go to? Don't know yet. Maybe it goes to the keyhole we just saw. Shall we try it? Let's try that key.
The key fits, but it
does
won't
go there.
turn. I need to put some kind of grease in there first.
Okay. Ooh, gargoyle. Gargoyle. That's interesting.
Oh, forget it. Stay in Italy as long as you want, then. Some kind of husband you're proving to be. It's not all in my head. Don't bother.
Okay, so this is Linda. This is the lady we're trying to investigate, and she's got sheets draped over a lot of her furniture. This is a dark and eerie room. Is she behind the curtain? Creepy shadows.
Linda? Hi, it's me, Nancy Drew.
Nancy Drew, our friendly neighborhood detective. Well, welcome to Blackmoor Manor. I apologize for greeting you under such unusual circumstances.
And I'm sorry to have to bother someone in your condition.
My condition? What's my mother told you? What her son-in-law keeps telling me? That it's all in my head? That I'm just an unhappy new bride? That I just need time to adjust? I'm tired all the time, my mouth is dry, my vision is blurry. But that's not important. Here's what's important, Nancy. There are some doors that should never be opened. There are some doors that hold secrets which must never be known. That's everything you need to know. Now if...
Mummy, can I come in?
No. You're supposed to be in your lessons.
Lessons are over. I want to meet Nancy.
I said no, Jane.
Okay.
Aww.
That was my stepdaughter. She can be such a pest sometimes.
Aww.
Anyway, I understand you feel an obligation to my mother, but trust me, there's nothing you can do. You're welcome to stay, but I strongly recommend that you go home as soon as possible.
Please, Linda, just tell me what's wrong. Linda? Okay, I'll let you rest. But I'll be back. I'm here for you if you need me.
Interesting, huh? That's too bad that she is just so annoyed with Jane. I mean, I'm a parent, so I understand the annoyance of kids at times. But she's a new mom. Mirror, lotion, ancient cell phones. That's so cool. Did any of you have a brick phone like that? Look at this room. Oh, nice big fireplace, candles. You know, this wall totally looks like a secret door of some sort. Same with this. They just look like secret passage. Oh, you know what? They might just be. It's kind of hard to see, but it's possible they lead to, like, closets or bathrooms. Vanity is covered. This is a much more pleasant room, even though it's so dark in here, than my room is. Hard to see walls. The light is so low. She doesn't look happy. She looks like a very serious person. That must be Hugh. Okay. Okay, let's go find Mrs. Drake in the conservatory.
There goes my cell phone.
Okay.
Hello?
Hi, Nancy. It's Mrs. Petrov. How is everything? Have you seen Linda yet?
Literally speaking, no, but I did talk to her. Not that she told me anything.
I'm just about at my wit's end. I've never known her to act like this. The last doctor that examined her said that aside from a little dry skin, which is not unusual for her, she was perfectly fine.
Why is she hiding behind that curtain?
I have no idea. When I was out there last week, I got fed up and pulled the curtain back. She threw a fit, but otherwise she looked absolutely normal. A little pale, perhaps, but who wouldn't be pale, cooped up like that? Something has changed her. Something in that house. Hugh is just as bewildered and upset by her behavior as I am. Please get to the bottom of this, Nancy. You're our last hope.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Where is Hugh?
He was called to Rome. As a diplomat, he's always being called out of the country without warning and without any say in the matter. He'd much rather be there with Linda, although...
Although what?
It's just that Hugh said it hasn't been very easy for him to talk to her lately. Whenever he calls, which is at least once a day, Linda always seems to fly off the handle for no reason, which doesn't make sense. Linda has always been extremely level-headed and even-tempered. She never gets angry. At least she didn't used to.
Who exactly is Mrs. Drake?
She's Hugh's aunt. She's taken care of Blackmoor Manor ever since her brother died. He was Hugh's father. She's a bit of a character.
In what way?
The way she spends all her time in that conservatory, slouching around, trowel in hand, murmuring to herself. You'd think she was burying something. Or somebody.
House of Horrors, maybe? She has critters.
Goodbye, Mrs. Petrov.
Goodbye, Nancy. Oh, one more thing. My niece is on call and her husband's out of town, and I told her I'd go over there and babysit if she had to work. So if you call and I don't answer, that's why. Bye.
This is the age when cell phones were not as popular. Look at this maze. And this floor, kind of trippy. So if we enter from this side and go see, I'm looking at the maze here. Wait, let's get a better view. There we go. Enter here, go around here, here, open here, all the way through here. Wow, you have to go make a complete circle. Come in here, and then get to the center here.
I can't leave Blackmore yet.
Look at all these pillars. There's so much to look at.
I need something else for this.
Do you? The moon.
Looks like a piece is missing. Looks like a piece is missing.
This is one of the coolest puzzles ever.
Looks like a piece is missing.
You gotta collect 6 keys. For each of the one for each of these pillars.
Looks like a piece is missing.
Oh, we've got so many places we can go.
Looks like a piece is missing.
Zeus. So many places to go and so many things to check out from this point. This right here, take a look at this very carefully. This, what do you call it? A cameo brooch right here on this dummy. This cameo art was used in several NC3 games, actually. Creepy. Okay, this is like Go Fish. Calliope? No. So she must be Betty. Aw, she took my Terpis score. She gets to go again. Oh dear. Polyhymnia? Oh, she gets to go again. The scroll. Nope. Do you have Urania? Oh. Nope. Euterp? Yay! Alright, so, let's ask her if she's got Melpomene. No, she doesn't, so I get to draw a random card. She's gonna ask me for this, I betcha. No, she's not. Go Fish. Alright, give me your pillars here. Yes. Oh, she has to give me 2. Oh, awesome. Yay, I've got a set. Okay, does she have Calliope? Nope. Erato, a parrot. Ah, she's gonna take my globe. Ah, I guess she made a match, huh? Okay, my turn. How about, Euterp again? Nope. Okay, Go Fish. She's gonna take my harp. Nope. I know she's got the harps. Yay! Let's ask for Euterp again. Nope. Yay! Okay. The scroll. No, I don't have the scroll. Let's... Erato, how about the parrot? Oh, she does have a parrot. Give me the parrot. She's got both parrots. I got her parrots. Yay! 1, 2, 3, 4. How many are there across? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So to beat her, I need to have 6 sets. We've got 2 more to get. Okay. Ah, the sad mask. Give me the other one. Oh, she only had the one. Okay. Give me Calliope. Nope. Pegasus. Give me your Pegasus. Yes. Do you have the other one? No, she does not. Okay, let's ask for Calliope again. Nope. Okay. Yay! She is still asking for the globe. Okay, she's got the globes then. Okay, Pegasus. Ah, yay, I win. I win. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, all I can ask for is Pegasus. Yay! Oh, she's gonna ask for the globe now. She's gonna get it, and she's gonna get it. Okay, and that ends the game.
Sorry, Betty, you lose.
Yay for me, who is called Penny. What is this all about? There's a crank hole. All right, paintings. This guy looks awesome. He looks mischievous. I don't trust him. Oh, this is the coat of arms that's in my room. And she's got a telescope. Interesting. Okay, there's an extra symbol here on either end of this. And I'm just gonna make a note of this coat of arms because I know it's gonna come in handy later and I want to make sure not to have to come all the way back. So notice the direction that all of these are facing. The horse is going to the right, the spear is going up, the meteor is coming down, lightning is coming down, horse is to the left, and scepter to the right. The library. I want one of these. Creepy. This looks like a guy who's gonna turn into a werewolf. Nice desk over there. I claim that spot. There's another desk there, and desk here. Hello, sir. You're creepy. Let's just look into your eyes.
Fascinating piece, isn't it? James Penvelyn sculpted it in 1591, although it appears that wand was added at a later date. He was quite a flamboyant figure and never married, but one day, a child appeared quite mysteriously in the castle, and he took her in as his own. That was Eleanor, and many of the townfolk believed her to be a changeling or fairy baby.
Well, that's a nice piece of information.
Ah yes, are you here from the agency? It's about time.
No, I'm Nancy Drew, a friend of Linda's.
How do you do? I'm Nigel Mukherjee. I'm researching the Penvelyn family, and Mrs. Drake has graciously opened the library for me. Nothing much has been written about the Penvelyns. Until now.
Really, there's a lot of books around here.
Why do you think that is?
It might have something to do with their scandalous history. Or perhaps it has something to do with the family treasure.
Are they ashamed?
Scandalous history?
Well, having a family member burned as a witch can hardly be considered a mark of pride, I dare say. And then there's the whole business with the Blackmore Beast.
Who was the family member?
Eleanor Penvelyn, tried and convicted of witchcraft in 1650. Quite the height of the witch trials here in Essex. It was rumored that Cromwell arranged the conviction.
Cromwell. Okay, so this was the European witch hunts.
Cromwell?
Oliver Cromwell? Ironsides? I suppose they don't teach history any longer in the U.S. Lady Penvelyn was a rather vocal critic of Cromwell's policies and helped many of his enemies flee the country. Whether she actually was a practitioner of witchcraft is unknown, although many visitors to the manor during her tenure reported hearing strange, ghostly bells. Some even saw phantom hands floating about the manor, tolling their charmed chimes.
That's a great spooky story. How would you like to have floating hands glowing throughout your house, chiming bells?
Tell me about the Pendleton family treasure.
For centuries, the Penvelyns have been very secretive. Some believe they're protectors of a fabulous treasure, or of some dark secret.
Can you tell me about the Blackmore Beast?
It's a story that's been told for generations out here. During the 1600s, many of the villagers reported seeing a strange beast with red eyes and giant fangs prowling the moors. They asked the mistress of Blackmoor Manor, Eleanor Penvelyn, to put a bounty on the beast's head. But, oddly enough, she not only refused, she forbade anyone from hunting the creature. It was rumored that the beast was Eleanor's husband, whom she had cursed for finding out too much about the Penvelyn secret.
Ah, something like what I saw?
When I was walking up to the house, I saw something with red eyes that called out to me.
Really? How extraordinary. Are you sure it wasn't just jet lag?
Positive, and I heard it make this kind of growling sound.
Perhaps it was the cursed husband of Eleanor Penvelyn, prowling about the moors in search of lost Yanks.
Very funny.
That's interesting. I've never really come to terms. I've never really contemplated that the Beast could be, or is known to be, rumored to be, I should say, Eleanor's cursed husband. She cursed him to become a beast for finding out too much about the Penvelyn secret.
Who are all those paintings of in the Great Hall?
Those are the Penvellyns who owned Blackmoor Manor at one time or another.
I'll let you get back to your work.
Goodbye.
Alright, so they are all Penvellyns. Now what I want to know is we've got this balcony up here, and usually there'd be like some stairs, or how would you get up there? Goodness, if I could learn how to do art.
Interesting. I'm researching Philippe Pendleton, and it appears that many scholars believe he was a pirate. That would explain his source of wealth.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. I don't know if I cared. Law books of the 16th century.
I doubt you'll find much of interest in there. They're mainly law books. Charles Penvelyn was a prominent judge in the 16th century. Sad to say, he lost his son at a young age, left his estate to his grandson, Thomas.
You know, I would be interested in these books because of how old they are. So in America, we don't have stuff that old. I mean, 16th century is probably the oldest to go back to, but there's so much more history in Europe. I would just be honored to hold a book that old. It's amazing. Old manuscripts?
Those manuscripts are very old and brittle. They date back to the 14th century. Odo Penvelyn collected most of them. His father, Randolph, and son Milo were rather more interested in military victories than in book collecting.
Incredible. More books. Take a look. Can't look at those books either, but we can look. Not here. We can look here. Novels. Ooh, nice.
Those are mainly Penelope Penvelyn's collections of French novels. She was a patron to a raft of artists, and her salon was quite popular. She was quite the libertine, even kept her maiden name after her marriage.
Okay. Look at this old computer.
I couldn't quite track the provenance of that piece, but Philippe must have brought it back from the New World. He became quite wealthy as a merchant in the Americas and restored Blackmoor's original splendor after it had been abandoned for years. His daughter Penelope continued the renovation, commissioning the construction of this library by Roger Vizier, who built a similar one for the French general Jean Le Boeuf.
Jean Le Boeuf. That sounds like an homage to the game, the Nancy Drew game, Treasure in the Royal Tower. Construction of this library, so it could have been a similar construction to the library in the castle of Treasure in the Royal Tower, because it mentions the French general Jean Le Boeuf.
À tes souhaits.
Merci.
Mind
Do you mind
you.
if I use this computer?
No, not at all. But it's very old. Feel free to use mine if I'm not here.
Who's Alan?
Alan Penvelyn was a noted researcher in computers and languages. Jane let me into his computer, but there was nothing much of interest on it.
What's the password?
I'm not sure.
We need the password. Okay. I actually have an old computer nearby that I don't have it plugged in because I'm waiting to figure out how to record really old games on it, because you can play the old games, but I can't really record them. Alright, that's it for the library. We were supposed to go find Mrs. Drake, but we're still kind of exploring these, these coat of arms and these paintings. Parrot talking. There's a parrot. Newman Lumen. Pergamentum exit. And there's Hugh. Present day. creepy painting of an old general, maybe? In recognition of Bridget Penvelyn, sponsor of the Essex Cricket Club, 1751. Excuse me. Ooh.
Wonder what happened in there.
Please stay out of the kitchen until the fire damage is repaired. Just another room that we cannot explore. This is quite an interesting hallway with no purpose but to separate the kitchen from the main room. It's just a hallway. Probably just a great room for a gallery. We've got a whole bunch of coat of arms here. Yeah. Let's go to the end of this. Oh, she's lovely. Oh, there's a hole right here. This opens up somehow. Another gargoyle. He doesn't... Okay, so the gargoyle guy doesn't have a coat of arms. So this is a hooded figure, very similar to the cover art for this game. Take a look at this. Let me get it out. Is it supposed to be her? Oh, my own reflection is gonna be... There we go. You can see that better. Hooded figure. Interesting. Who's the hooded figure supposed to be? Eleanor? Bridget? Rainbow. Alright, so... How cool would it be to have a conservatory in your own house? I'm getting Clue vibes. Anyone else seen the 1980s Clue movie based on Cluedo, the board game? You could totally play that game in this environment. Although you can't get to the kitchen. There's still a lot of environments that we can't get to in this house. Look, more gargoyle decorations here. Nice trees and plants. They have a palm tree. How nice. Hey!
Looks like John Pendleton may have developed some of the plants that are in here himself.
Interesting. Hybrids. Oh, it's Granny!
Doesn't work.
There's no
This
water
must
in
be
here.
some kind of well, but where's the water?
Where's the water? Good question. Second chance moment coming up. Look at this giant bulbous carnivorous plant. This looks like something from another video game. Oh no, you know what? This kind of looks like a Pokemon. What was the name of that Pokemon I'm thinking of? Oh.
A carnivorous plant. Cool.
There goes a little fly.
That's probably not a good idea.
Poke it, Nancy, poke it. Take a look at this.
Ah!
Bravo. I got eaten by a plant. There's Mrs. Drake.
Messing with her plants is probably not a good idea.
Oh, yes, it is. Letitia Drake. Benazoline. Benazoline? 1 tablet every 6 hours as needed for allergy symptoms. Warning, may cause drowsiness. Do not drive or operate heavy machinery while taking this drug. Interesting. So, ESRB has changed over the years. And this game is rated E for everyone. What are the descriptors on it? Doesn't say what the descriptors are on the box. But this pointing out the drugs could be a factor in determining the rating, if it's going to be E for everyone, or E10 and up, or the next level up, which is T for teen.
All settled in? Good. I'm happy that you're visiting Linda, but I know how much you teenagers like your televisions and loud stereos, so I must insist that you act respectfully and civilly while you stay with us. Since my nephew Hugh is away on business, I am in charge of this household. And if there's one thing I cannot stand, it's noise. Hugh's daughter Jane is staying with us and would very much like to meet you, but please try not to distract her. She has her studies and mustn't be disturbed during her lessons.
Is anyone else staying here?
We do not have any permanent house staff, if that's what you mean. The Penvellyns have always been self-reliant. We get on quite well without being continuously mollycoddled by a squadron of insipid, gossiping ne'er-do-wells. Now, we do have 2 other house guests. Are Mr. Nigel Mukherjee, who is researching the Penvelyn family history in the library, and Ethel Bossany, Jane's tutor.
She just used a myriad of words that I love, and I can't remember them, even though they were just spoken a second ago. Mollycoddles? Ne'er-do-wells? That's so funny. I love it.
Do you know what's wrong with Linda?
Oh, Linda simply needs some time to adjust to her new living situation. England is not the United States. We do things differently, or should I say properly, here. The doctor believes it's just a case of nerves.
Nerves?
Is that what you believe?
I don't know, and the doctors don't know. No one seems to know anything. All I've been told is that Linda is unwell, and that in her stead, I must look after matters. Now, please, I really do not have time to entertain you. You may have the run of the house, but do not break anything, and refrain from mucking about with items that aren't yours. 2 rules Jane seems incapable of following. And before I forget, our kitchen is being remodeled, so our dining situation is rather unorthodox. I've made arrangements with a local restaurant to deliver meals to us. There should be a programmed number for them on the phone in your room. Feel free to order whatever you'd like.
I'm going to take a quick break. Just 1 second. I'm back.
I spoke with Mr. Tucker at the Boar's Head pub, but frankly, I'm not at all sure what he said.
Yes, his language is quite colourful, isn't it? He's Cockney, you see. My brother Alan and I loved to make up Cockney rhymes when we were young. We'd drive our governess quite batty. Haven't got a pot of glue, haven't got a pot of glue. Ha! How we teased her.
Pot of glue?
A clue, dear. Haven't got a clue. Rhymes with glue, you see.
This conservatory is very beautiful. But why isn't there any water in the well?
I'm not quite sure. We never really used it, but it was always full of water. That is until my brother died. And then it just dried up. Most of these plants were brought over by my grandfather. He was quite the adventurer. I remember when he brought back Loulou from the Amazon. At first, Mother wouldn't allow us to play with it because it had picked up too many unsuitable words from sailors. But it gradually learned proper manners.
Who is Loulou?
Loulou is a very old parrot. She must be over 80 years old. Please be very careful with her, especially if you feed her. Parrots have quite delicate constitutions, you know.
Do you know what the password is for the computer in the library?
No, that was my brother's toy.
I'm concerned about that thing I saw outside.
It was purely your imagination, unless you saw a stray dog. But I will not countenance any histrionics about this issue. We have enough to worry about with Linda. And please do not get any ideas about going outside to investigate. I do not want you tracking mud all over this house.
Goodbye.
Run along.
Run along. Okay, we should probably go talk to Jane.
Who's ready for some nummies?
Did you say something, Mrs. Drake?
Not to you, dear.
She is a bit eccentric, isn't she? Did you hear that? It sounds like there's a critter in here. A critter indeed.
Well, aren't you the pretty spider plant?
Aren't you the pretty spider plant? Okay. Alright, let's go back upstairs. We haven't finished exploring the hall to the right.
This must be Mrs. Drake's room.
Go inside.
Guess she's not in her room.
Well, great, go inside.
Guess she's not in her room.
Darn it.
Oh, it's just a parrot. Polly want a cracker?
Not Polly! Loulou! 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 Loulou!
Okay, I get the point. Loulou.
Loulou! 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 Loulou!
Do you by any chance know Latin?
Quiste rogavit, bene vidi vici, semper ubi sub ubi, morituri status.
I'll take that as a yes. Would you mind translating something for me?
Fire away.
In hoc signo.
In this sign, in hoc signo, in this sign you will conquer.
In hoc signo. Should I be writing this down? Maybe. In hoc. Where did I see that? I looked at so many coat of arms. I don't remember where this was from. You will conquer. Okay.
Bye, bird.
Don't leave me, I love you! Hello?
That's all I got to ask? I wanted to ask the other ones.
Bye, bird.
Look at the gargoyles on this bird cage.
Top of the morning to you, matey.
How good are you at giving hints?
Tell your troubles to Loulou.
Oh, this is the hint system.
Would you happen to know the password for the computer in the library that used to belong to Alan?
Jane has the answer. Jane knows the word. Jane can be so helpful. You'd think she was a bird.
Bye, bird.
Bob's your uncle. Uh-oh. Not good. Stay away. Stay away.
What's not good?
Behind you. Don't look. Don't look.
You're just playing a joke on me, aren't you?
Don't look. Don't look.
I'm not falling for that. There's nothing there, Loulou.
Nothing there. Fooled ya.
How about a hint?
Talk to me.
Bye, bird.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that's all I can ask. Okay.
I need the key.
Don't have a key. Okay. Creepy sound effect. Alright. I can go in. This is Jane's
Hi.
room.
You must be Nancy. I'm so pleased you're here. I'm Jane. I know you've come to visit my stepmom, but I'd love it if you could pop by whenever you get the chance. Oh, we'll have such fun. Let's play a game.
Not right now. Maybe later. I'd like to ask some questions first.
Sure, what do you want to know? About Mummy? I mean, Linda. I do hope you'll help. She's been a bit out of sorts lately.
When did she start getting sick?
I was playing in Mummy's room when she wasn't there, and when I looked up, there was a lady, all dressed in black, putting something on Mummy's nightstand.
The woman left something?
The lady put a note on Mummy's nightstand, but I didn't read it. That's when Mummy started feeling poorly. I don't want to think about that. Let's play a game. It will cheer me up.
Not right now, but maybe later.
You can come in any time you want, even if I'm not here. I've got some really smashing things. I'm so happy you've come, Nancy. I hope you can make Mummy feel better. Hi, Nancy.
Do you want to play a game?
Oh,
That
nuts.
would be lovely. Which game would you like to play? I have a fun astronomy game. Look inside the chest over there and pick a game. My great aunt said it's a hope chest, so I put my games in there in the hope someone would come over to play.
Aw.
We can play Bull, Constellation Match, Petroglyph Punch, Skull and Bones, and I also have a jigsaw puzzle.
You sure have a lot of games.
I love games. I want to make computer games when I grow up.
She's got eyeballs in here. Can I just leave? Yes.
Hi, Nancy.
Have
Here
you
we
ever
go.
seen anything strange outside?
Once I saw my Uncle Roger's toupee fly off during a windstorm. Talk about freaky.
I mean, have you seen a strange animal outside?
No, but I have heard weird noises like this. Howling. But not like a dog howling, more like something human. I don't want to think about that. It's scary enough having to live in this gloomy place.
The lady in black you saw in Linda's room, did she look like anyone you know?
Like I said before, I couldn't really see her face, but she was kind of dressed like the lady in the Great Hall.
Which lady?
Eleanor. I know it sounds weird. That's why I didn't want to tell anyone. It's too creepy. Sometimes wonder if I just dreamed it all up. Mrs. Drake is always saying I have a rampant imagination.
Do you think there's a treasure hidden around here?
I highly doubt it. I mean, if there were, wouldn't someone have already found it? When I asked Ethel about it, she said that it's the Penvelyn name and heritage that should be treasured. Blech.
Do you know what the password is for the computer in the library?
Yes, but I won't tell. Not unless you beat me at Skull and Bones. My friend Hulga bought this for me. It's like Go Fish, but you have to collect 3 of a kind of weird things like zombies and ghosts. You go first.
Do you have any spiders?
Nada. Any bones?
Go dig. Do you have any haunted houses?
Dig. Do you have any zombies?
Sorry.
I'm sorry about that. My light just went out, so I need to switch battery. Okay, bats?
Do you have any bats?
Go dig. Any bones?
You're going to have to go dig. Do you have any ghosts?
Dig. Do you have any zombies?
You're going to have to go dig. Do you have any bones?
Here you go.
Spiders.
Do you have any spiders?
Here you go.
That's
Yay.
a match. Do you have any haunted houses?
Nada.
Oh,
Your witches, please?
Sorry.
she has zombies. Let's ask her for them.
Do you have any zombies?
Here you go.
Bats?
Do you have any bats?
Nada. Tombstones?
All yours.
Your witches, please?
Afraid not. Do you have any haunted houses?
Nada.
That's a match.
Yay!
Any bats?
All yours.
No.
You got a match. Good for you.
Tombstones?
Sorry. You got a match. Good for you.
Did she?
Do you have any zombies?
Nada.
That's a match.
Well, that works.
Do you have any skulls?
Go dig. A match? You're doing great.
How many matches does she have?
Do you have any bones?
Here you go.
I got a match. Do you have any zombies?
Nada.
That's a match.
Your witches, please?
You're going to have to go dig. Do you have any tombstones?
Here you go.
That's a match.
Yay! We're gonna wipe her out.
Do you have any witches? I win.
Yay!
You won. Good job. Okay, the password for my grandfather's computer is on his coat of arms, plain as day.
Great.
I should get going.
Come back soon.
Let's explore her area.
That's my family tree. Ask me anything about anyone. Go on, ask me.
There's a lot to talk about.
Tell me about Randolph.
Randolph the Red, so named for his bright red hair, was considered a hero at the Battle of Poitiers. For his heroism, King Edward III awarded him with the lands in the region called Penvelyn. That's how we got our name.
Odo. That's an odd name.
Yeah, he isn't very exciting, really. Like farming and cows. His son Milo is much more interesting.
Who was Agatha?
She was a nun. I think she lived in Ireland.
Who was Marjorie?
She died when she was a little girl. It was really sad.
She was, okay, so 63 to 71. That's 7, 8. She's like 8 years old.
Tell me about Simon.
He lived from 1358 to 1412. No, 1411. We don't know very much about him.
Who was Anor?
He was Odo's brother.
What did Guido do?
He made pizza. No, I'm joking, of course. I don't know anything about him except that he died in 1433 because he outlived all of his siblings.
Interesting fact.
What do you know about Cecilia?
She married the Lord of Limerick and did a lot of needlework. She had a ton of kids, too, like 20. Can you imagine?
That's quite a lot.
What about Milo?
Milo inherited not only his grandfather's red hair, but his military prowess. Milo was instrumental in the siege of Caen and was awarded even more lands by Henry V.
Wow. Okay, one more.
What about Jacobus?
He died when he was like 9.
Okay, well, that was boring. Let's go with Hugo.
And Hugo?
He had a lot of kids, and his dates were 1401 to 1466.
Oh, okay. We will leave the bottom row here for the next visit. Ooh. An introduction to runes. Ah. Very cool. Okay, I'm just gonna take a picture of this with my own phone so that I can sketch it later, just for the time's sake. All right. Oh, there's more. Huh. Okay. Quick note taking, that's how it works. M-O-M, mom. She likes her mom.
Nigel gave that to me when I was in the library once. I think he was hoping it would scare me, but it didn't. I'm too smart to believe in that sort of stuff.
Ooh, creepy werewolves. Werewolves, Lycanthropy by Palika Vadas, University of Manhattan. Yeah, transforming into werewolf. The symptoms of lycanthropy varied. They would assume the precise appearance of a wolf. So others would turn into something that was half human, half beast. Sometimes the change was permanent. Sometimes they could change form at will. Environmental factors brought about the transformation. Symptoms or a curse. Pale. Permanently usually appeared pale. Fatigue. Weak vision, dry tongue, constant thirst. Hair growth on the face and hands. Fingernails grew long. And the eyes gradually changed shape and color. Those sound like the symptoms of Linda. That's what she described. And she had lotion by the side because she has dry skin. Could be she's hiding because she believes that she's turning into a werewolf. Personality also changed. Ill-tempered and aggressive. Went into hiding. Appetite for human flesh. I'm just skimming through this. Obtaining the ability to change their form through sorcery. People who are cursed. Okay. This is a creepy picture. Let's see. They convinced that they have been cursed. They fully believe it. For research psychologists such as myself, information gathering is a never-ending process. If you believe you know someone who has undergone a lycanthropic metamorphosis, please contact me, Paliki Vadas.
This phone number just might come in handy.
Okay, we will remember that for later. Ooh.
I used that to make cakes for Loulou the parrot. That's why the ingredients are so nasty. Like, I would eat mealworms. Aren't you glad we don't have to use that thing to cook our food?
I saw the kitchen. What happened to it?
I guess you could say I happened to it, but it was Ethel's fault. She inspired me to study the oxidation rates of different kinds of cookie doughs. Only my snickerdoodle experiment got away from me.
Oh dear.
Do you mind if I make something?
Go right ahead.
Okay, before we do, we need to use our phone. And we'll do that later. Candy.
Who's this?
That's my mum, my real mum. She's an opera singer. It's not like she's famous or anything, but she does live in Paris.
What is this book?
Don't know, really. Ethel gave it to me. She said it belonged to my grandfather. Do you think Brady Armstrong is cute?
That's random. No, not really. Mutus Liber. These look important. Take a picture of that so I can reference it again later. This dragon. Those are the symbols that we saw in our Granny book.
Each of those cups seems to be associated with a Roman numeral.
Yeah. So this is the symbol for Earth. Okay. And these are like, there's 6 here and 1 centerpiece here. Kind of like how there's 6 pillars out in the main hall. So for Earth. And then the cups. What numbers are these? The Roman numerals. I have to look that up. But this is a sign for water. This is the sign for air and fire. What is that symbol? This plus this to get fire, huh? I'll take a picture of that as well. Looks like he's catching the wind and putting it in a bag. Oh, this is important as well. Don't know what it means just yet, but it looks like this device is being held over the eye here. Overlooked by angels, but which is a good thing. So this is good and this is bad. These like creatures here, these gargoyle creatures. It's bad to put your hands in the fire. I believe it. Oops. Madame Butterfly. Ooh.
That was written by Charles Penvelyn way back in like the 1500s. When I read it, it seemed really familiar, you know?
Really familiar. So this is where we should take notes as well. I'm going to write some stuff down. We'll see what it is later. The key words that we're looking for here is moon, strength, toast, happiness might be one, I don't know. Stalwart heart of a knight, charity, be the guiding angel. Stay firm in knowledge as a dedicated geometer. So knowledge is a geometer. And fear not the ravages of father time. For dear child, I wonder if that's important, I don't know. As you learn the lessons of folly, the secrets of this world shall dawn in thy soul. Interesting. Alright, see this door? See how there's like a gargoyle dog on each side? I want you to take a look at the one on... I don't remember which one it was. The right or the left. Keep it a close eye on both of them. The one on the right, it blinks. How freaky is that? Okay, let's look over here.
I totally love that show. Isn't Brady Armstrong so dreamy? Total hottie.
For Petunia Highway, starring Brady Armstrong. World premiere broadcast only on the Heartthrob channel. She's got his autograph? How cool is that?
You had a guinea pig?
Yes, but it died.
When?
I don't know. I'd really rather not think about it, alright?
I wish I could look in her drawers.
Looks like you're learning some interesting stuff.
Bet you wouldn't say that if you were the one who had to learn it.
Bridget Penvelyn. Okay. Learn, sing, discuss the Ballad of Bridget. French history, Latin. So her lessons are from 6 in the morning to 1400. What is that? No, it's say 12 until 2. 6 a.m. to 2 o'clock is her lessons. Okay, Latin, science, math, English. They're reading about Charles Dickens. Okay. More art projects about Bridget's favorite star constellations. Okay. Oh, okay, so I think there's an Easter egg involved with this. So that's 1 time with chattering teeth. 2. 3, 4. Notice the teeth are like animal teeth. They're not like human teeth. They're all sharp. I think you're supposed to do this 10 times. And you'll get an Easter egg. Let's try it. Just gonna get that song stuck in my head. Just a couple. Oh, I got it. I got it. And check the inventory, and you have the Easter egg. Yay! Can we talk to her again one more time?
Hi, Nancy.
I should get going.
Ta-ta.
Okay. It blinks every time I step up, huh? Let's go see if the food that we ordered is here.
That must be the food I ordered. Ah, loop-de-loop, otherwise known as soup.
Yum.
This smells delicious.
Looks like minestrone or beef stew.
That was really good.
Let's order more.
Boar's Head, this is Tommy.
Hi, this is Nancy Drew. I'd like to order some food.
Sure, we've got some loop-de-loop bangers and mash, pinky and perky in a dog's eye, and they're all Robin Hood.
Bangers and mash.
Rightio, Uncle Fred and Johnny Rudder.
Okay.
All right then, we'll come round and leave it at your Rory. Baked potato.
All right, let's talk to Hugh now. Can we do that? Ring-a-ring.
Hugh Penvelyn here.
Hello, Mr. Pendleton. This is Nancy Drew. I'm the one who's visiting Linda. You know, from the United States, across the pond.
Yes, of course. Are you at Blackmore?
Yes, I am, and I've talked to Linda.
Good for you, because frankly, that's something I've been quite unable to do lately. These temper tantrums of hers make rational discourse well nigh impossible.
I love the language that he used. Rational discourse, well nigh impossible.
She gets angry for no reason?
Absolutely none. We'll be talking on the phone about the weather or Jane's lessons or something equally innocuous, and suddenly she'll be bellowing at me and slamming the phone down.
There must be something that sets her off.
Everything sets her off. I promise you, these rages of hers are totally uncalled for and quite unbearable. I love her dearly, but she's making things very difficult.
I understand that Mrs. Drake is your aunt?
Yes, Aunt Letitia. We're not very close, however. She's always been rather aloof, much more interested in being a Penvelyn than a person, if you know what I mean.
Does Linda get along with her?
As far as I know, yes, although I have caught my aunt eyeing Linda strangely at times. And of course, there's the 6-month habitation clause.
What?
The what?
According to the Penvelyn rules of inheritance, the spouse of Blackmoor Manor's current owner, that would be Linda since I'm the current owner, the spouse of the current owner must reside in the manor for at least 6 months. Should she or he leave the manor before 6 months is up, ownership of one half of the estate immediately passes to the next legal heir.
And that would be Mrs. Drake.
Correct.
I met your daughter Jane.
Quite the bundle of energy, isn't she?
I get the feeling that she's a little lonely.
I'm sure she is, what with a private tutor instead of school and Linda being under the weather. And coming back to Blackmore no doubt reminds her of her real mother. Renee and I were divorced almost 2 years ago. Jane went into a bit of a tailspin for a while, but she's come to adore Linda. She's been calling her Mummy since the day we were married.
She was hesitant to say Mummy. She said Mummy and then corrected herself and said Linda, though.
Have you spent much time on your father's computer? The one that's in the library?
I dare say I've never touched it. Mathematics, computer science, linguistics, all the things that fascinated my scholarly father bored me to tears. He gave up on me quite early on. With Jane, however, it was a different story.
What do you mean?
From the day she was born, my father doted on her, far more than he ever doted on me. Read to her, bought her books, games. Truth be told, I was a bit jealous. He passed away when she was still a toddler, so it's unlikely she remembers all the attention he showered on her. But I do, and I still find it so out of character as to be mystifying.
It was nice talking to you.
This is an extremely busy time for me, so I apologize in advance if you call and I'm unavailable.
I understand.
Good. Cheerio.
That's right, we were given the clue to go find the password to the computer on the coat of arms. Did we figure out... Ludi sin Gladio, Ludi non sunt. Did we figure out what this was all about? I think we're looking for, like, maybe this coat of arms. Star, 3 meteors, is Bridget, so... Huh. Not sure entirely. Okay, so let's go find that. That coat of arms from Alan. So Alan was the grandpa. Him. Pergamentum exit. Okay. Wait, we were supposed to look on our phone. Ah, we can look at the web. Internet browser, here we go. Search, yeah. Roman numerals, okay, this helps. So this, yeah. That explains how Roman numerals work. Great. Healthy diet for parrots. Okay. They eat fruits, seeds, leaves, nuts, and sometimes even the meat. Deep colored vegetables such as carrots, greens, peppers, and broccoli. Non-fat dairy products, commercially produced wheelworms, and beans. Additional fruits and vegetables such as corn, tomatoes, bananas. Ooh, apples and blueberries. Brown rice, wheat germ, whole grain crackers, peanuts, walnuts, and sunflower seeds. Okay, so these are the things to avoid. There goes my other light. Running out of battery. Never feed your parrots chocolate, coffee, processed meats, salami, and avocado. Got it. Okay. Cockney rhyming slang. Oops. Cockney rhyming slang. Mickey Mouse's slang for house. Irish rose means nose. Baked beans are Dixie Queens is jeans. Nanny goat, boat. Uncle Fred and Johnny Rudder is bread and butter. Okay. Hickory Dickory Dock is clock. Teapot lids is kids. Interesting. Uncle Fred and Johnny Rudder. Got it. So we're getting bread and butter. Why the stars seem to move. Ah, the zodiac symbols. These will come in handy. The zodiac and the planetary symbols. That's what those are. So that will help us with the Mudus Liber as a reference point. And then these are, these were mentioned on the tapestry in my room. Solstitium takes place June 21st, which is the longest day, shortest night. And then shortest day, longest night is Bruma, December 21st. And then the tilt of the Earth, which is halfway between those two dates, is around March 21st and September 21st. Okay. Beast of Blackmoor. Did we read about that? Ah. Reports of missing dogs, cats, and lambs. Witchcraft burned at the stake. Blamed for that. The last reported sighting was May 1990. Okay. Blackmoor Manor. Not much new there. Ah, we can call Ned Nickerson. Oh, we forgot to talk to Paliki. You know, let's go, instead of talking so much more to people, let's... Oh, he's gone. Fingertips for typing. I don't want to do this right now. To Nigel. Nigel, I'm very intrigued by what you've learned so far at Blackmore. Good work. I can definitely see this as a bestseller if you deliver the goods, or should I say goodies, by Ludmilla. Notes. Oh my goodness, so many notes. Columns in the Great Hall. They're missing something, of course. Mercury to face north. Oh, wait, hang on. The riddle I found in Corbin's secret room in France might reference the Mercury column and how his key is held in hand, most likely the statue in the library, and that only by persuading Mercury to face north and lift his eyes to the sky. Mercury, north, eyes up. Okay. It'll be, will the wand and key be released? I'm sure the mechanism to move this is in the hidden passages Corbin refers to, but how to access these secret passages? Chapter 2. There's so much reading here. Interesting. Anything interesting here? No. Oh, need more info. Search county archives for comments from peers, fellow students, neighbors. Milo's son studied alchemy, used a dragon to symbolize the forge that he built. He cannot find it. Okay, we're looking for the forge. Chapter 4. Tapestry in her room. The tile work. Oh, it's the tapestry in her room with a poem represents the tile work around the doorway. Charity has an exchange of a coin. The compass as the geometer's tool. The hooded image of Father Time and Folly as a juggler. Okay, so Folly is juggler. Noted. Okay, this is handy. There's a lot of information in here. James Penvelyn never marries, yet baby Eleanor suddenly appears in his household. Scrutinize everything to touch, find out where she came from. Okay, doesn't even know where she came from. Corbin. Okay, that's not interesting. Cleve's daughter. Oh, the card-playing automaton named Betty plays like Go Fish. Okay, we already figured that out. Bridget Penvelyn studying astronomy and astrology. Yeah, okay. Coat of arms. The directions. The jouster running to the right. The guard with a spear pointing up. The crowned figure motioning to the right. Yep, I took notes on that because I knew we had to. But this is the clue that leads us to doing so. Plants. And Loulou. He's still trying to dig up dirt on Hugh. Oh, the newest guy. Interesting. And this background image is from Treasure in the Royal Tower. It was just reused. So Nigel was at at the Wickford Castle. That's what it was. Okay, what time is it? It's 2200. What is that? It's almost like 10 at night or so. Okay, let's type in Pergamentum exit.
Welcome, my adventurous friend. Don't tell my sister, but there are ghosts in Blackmoor Manor. 13 of them to be exact. The problem is they're very shy, so they only come out when it's very late at night, usually just after midnight, and even then they only show up in quiet places, like the Great Hall, and the hallways and the conservatory. What's worse, they'll only come out for a very short period of time. But if you can find and touch all 13 ghosts in the time you're allotted, come back here and I'll give you a prize, one which I guarantee you'll enjoy. So who's ready to go on a ghost hunt?
Me.
Oh dear, my watch tells me that the ghosts are not likely to show up right now. Come back between midnight and 4 a.m. Farewell till then.
All right, we have to come back at midnight. So this is actually an excellent place to pause our game and come back later. So stay tuned for the next video. On to the next video.